Good evening and welcome to Footy Corner. I'm Sparks and we have Horatio with us. How are we doing, Horatio?
Yeah, good mate, good.
Yeah, good day at work.
Aye?
Good day at work.
Work's work, innit?
Work's work.
They call it work. They don't call it 8 hours a day of pure joy and happiness.
Yeah, they don't call it job, do they? Fair enough. Yeah, Horatio's a Villa fan, so we'll be getting a different perspective today, which is always nice. We are trying to increase the amount of guests and amount of different teams that we're supporting and such like on the channel as well. So if you are interested in doing that and coming on as a panelist, then just drop us a DM or a message underneath the channel. But like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notifications as well. And yeah, maybe we'll get on there or we'll just have a conversation in the chat. But yeah. So what did you make of the weekend fixtures? Basically, I was just going to go through the Saturday fixtures, and the one that basically stood out for me was the Bournemouth 5, Forest 0.
Bournemouth are just
what you expected?
I don't know where Bournemouth have. Actually, I feel like Bournemouth have been slowly lurking for the past few weeks, and they've kind of just shot out the blocks the past few weeks, haven't they?
Well, I think that they've kind of been there or thereabouts, haven't they? They've been pretty good. Very underrated, very much dark horses, a bit like Forest as well.
Yeah.
They've been lingering around, people not basically given much credit. And when they beat us, it was like, oh, well, they beat you with 10 men and it was this, that, and the other, and you were just crap. And then slowly and surely they've got picked results off along the way, haven't they? So, they're doing a pretty decent job, to be fair to you.
They remind me a little bit of Brighton under Graham Potter.
Yeah.
They're very underrated team that you think
they're
like
a team,
is going to walk them over, but they're actually good enough to beat.
Yeah, they're a bit like a collective, a bit more rather than having individuals. Although they've got a couple of decent individuals in Semenyo and
so Ouattara's been on fire.
Ouattara, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they've done pretty well, but I did not see the 5-0 coming. I don't know if you did.
Captain Chris Wood in my FPL. Oh, it's dark time.
He just signed a new deal as well, didn't he? He signed a new deal. He done this, that, and the other. He captained your FPL, and he stinks.
It's done. So, this when players get new contracts, they do just drop off, though, don't they?
I don't know if he actually had a shot, did he?
No, I'm just looking at the stats of it now. So it was, possession was pretty split. XG weren't far off, but Forest had 18 shots and Bournemouth had 16.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So Forest having more shots, not getting a goal, 4 on target against.
So it's definitely not a 5-0 game. I mean, I didn't watch the game, to be honest. I didn't watch the highlights of it. So maybe they just trimmed out some of his highlights. But obviously he did have the shots, but he just couldn't put them away.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a very it must be a bit of a killer for Forest as well, being on so high up, and obviously they want to be in the top 4 and such like, get Champions League football if they can, and to lose 5-0 to Bournemouth must hurt for them, mustn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if this will kind of stop them in the tracks though, because this happened to Villa last season. So I think we were up there third, kind of somewhere middle in between. Was it Arsenal in second and Spurs? I think it was Spurs in fourth. And Spurs really dropped off, and then I think we got absolutely pumped. I think it was by Spurs actually. I think we got pumped by Spurs, and we just dropped off.
Was it like 4-0 or something?
Yeah, we got just randomly decided to not turn up that day, and it kind of made the rest of the season a bit of a struggle, but we managed to blag fourth in the end.
Yeah, it's not what happens, is it? It's how you recover from it. That's the thing. So if you're hit with that kind of result, you need to be bouncing back pretty quickly. So I guess next weekend would have been a big test. And though I don't know who they've got the weekend, but we'll do that on a different show, but otherwise we'll be here all night. But yeah, we've got Everton beating Brighton. So obviously they've got David Moyes in Everton, and they've got a bit of a bounce going, haven't they?
Yeah, they look decent. I mean, when we played them last week, I thought we were kind of lucky to come out with the win. We played them last Wednesday, and they had that immediate like new manager bounce.
Yeah.
Honestly, they look good. They looked attacking. A far cry from Dyche's Everton that we just kind of sat back, route one, typical Dyche ball, you know. But they look like they wanted to make something, and they've got a couple of players that can do it. Like that, and Di looks a really good player actually. Put the ball at his feet, let him go. He looks really good.
Yeah. I think he's a pretty decent player, isn't he? But yeah, it's, I mean, Brighton are suffering a little bit as well, aren't they? Because they've, I don't know if they're dropping down. They've had a couple of shaky results. Yeah, they were pushing.
Just bang average season, Brighton. Like, they get one good result and then just get stuffed somewhere else, don't they?
I think they have got a lot of injuries. To be fair to them, I think even when they played us, I don't think they had any fullbacks. And now I think the centre backs are playing fullback. So you know, nobody else is allowed to use it as an excuse. So I don't think that they are as such. But there we go. Liverpool for Ipswich 1. Did you see that happening? Did you see that going that way?
Well, Liverpool absolutely tanking Ipswich, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be pretty much a foregone conclusion, and it proved to be.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised Ipswich got one.
I was as well.
Yeah.
And did you see that the challenge on? I think it was on Endo. I can't remember who it was that did it now. From the Ipswich player that basically did a lunge with his knee up. It looked like a karate move.
Why do I feel like there's a? Why do I feel like there's an Arsenal comparison coming?
Well, I didn't want to. I don't know. I'm not going to use it as a comparison. I just didn't want to just say that they should have been a sending off, or there was a sending off in the Arsenal one. When I want to try and be equal and say, well, that for me should have been a red card. So yeah, just trying to add a bit of balance, if you know what I mean, rather than just call out my clubs and just be accused of bias. Do you know what I mean? But I personally thought that I don't know if you've seen the challenge, but
I don't think I have, actually. I'm just trying to get a little bit of it now, but none of this seems familiar.
Yeah, he kind of had his foot raised and his knee raised, and then he kind of his leg kind of went down his chest, and
well, I mean, leg going down chest is.
It wasn't pretty.
Oh, that's a card.
It wasn't pretty. It was definitely a red card for me. I think they've got grounds to complain about that one. To be honest. But yeah, Liverpool look good, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean they've looked good most of the year, really. But there's this thing with Liverpool fans. I don't know what it is. Liverpool can be 3-0 up by like the 60th minute. And Liverpool fans still complain that the team isn't playing good enough or that someone's slacking. I don't know what it is, but Liverpool fans just seem to have this, I don't know, misplaced right to just moan about any part of the performance. And I just find it really weird.
I mean, Arsenal fans are a bit like that as well, to be fair. So,
yeah.
I don't think it's exclusive. But Man United fans will do that as well. So it's
like 6 point clear with a game in hand, guys. Come on, just take some fun out of it. I mean, stop digging out for 5 minutes.
Yeah, what actually gets me is this whole, you know, we're not favourites, so that you don't get the bottle job tag if you actually fail with it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what gets me, and it's like it's a little bit disingenuous. But it's going to get worse before Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. I'm certain it's going to happen. Especially if Forest wins it or something like that, you know, or even if the worst happens and City get their act together and actually win it and beat everybody else to it, it's going to be monumental, isn't it? absolutely monumental.
I think City are coming back from, what is it, 12 points off.
12 points behind, and they've got a game in hand, haven't they? So, but their game in hand is against Everton, isn't it? So,
yeah, I don't. Actually, I don't know.
Maybe now.
Like, you fancy any of the top 4 to beat Everton, but Everton's just got a different.
I just think, as well, I think defensively Liverpool can be got at.
Yes, especially down the wings at the minute.
Yeah, if you can get to them, then and you can beat that high up press, I think they can be got at. But
yeah, absolutely agree.
Obviously, the counter is the thing, isn't it? That's the killer. They're very clinical.
Yeah, you wait for Trent to do his little false back thing where he drifts into midfield, and then you've just got someone.
Well, Van Dijk can do it as well the other way. So
yeah,
so he's got a spray of a ball as well. But there we go. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3, and I expected it to be more from Newcastle, to be honest with you. They've been in decent form, haven't they? And Southampton are a bit, well, they're relegation fodder, aren't they? Let's be real.
Yeah, I did enjoy. I know it was a couple of weeks ago when Southampton played. Was it Man United?
Yeah.
Sulemana just absolutely tore Lenny Yoro a new one. So I kind of thought the Southampton have that little bit of, just that little bit of go get them, but every time it looks like they're going to do something, they just completely capitulate amongst themselves.
Well, I remember when they played Liverpool, and it was like they were trying to give them the win. It was ridiculous. It was like a comedy of errors. It really was, and their keeper, my God, it was like It was like watching a comedy sketch. It really was.
I remember this. Is this when Ramsdale kind of like threw it behind him?
No, it wasn't Ramsdale. It was before Ramsdale came back. I can't remember what his name is now, but he literally he made a run for a ball, and he wasn't even running where the ball was. He was like running to no man's land, and Salah went, "Oh, all right then."
So when the manager goes running to the space and he's taking it way too literally.
Yeah. It was just crazy. So, but yeah, Newcastle on the way back, aren't they? So they're in competition with you guys, aren't they? For the
there's a weird little rivalry going on there because I think on the back end of it, I think Villa and Newcastle are the 2 richest clubs in the Prem based on the owners.
Yeah, I don't think that's the rivalry though. I think that's more because.
But it's more that we're spending similar kinds of money at the same time, and then we're both competing for that
Champions League
spot that Chelsea and Spurs have got.
And the fact that they've done it and come out of it, and then you've gone into it, and
we'll come out of it this season as well.
So I think that's what's creating it. So it's a bit more of a tit for tat, more than anything else. That's kind of creating a bit of a rivalry between the two of you, to be honest. I mean, you've got Man City in there that now back in 4th place, but I don't think
that Man City can go. How many games was it? Is it like 8 games without a win or something daft?
It was
still like 4th.
I think it was more than that in all competitions, wasn't it?
Oh, just absurd! How do you go that long without a win and still sit in 4th?
Wasn't it 11 games? I think it was 11 games in all competitions.
Was it? Oh,
it was crazy. But yeah, and the fact that they're back in 4th is just mad, really.
Honestly, it's absurd. I didn't realise they had that, because it doesn't feel like they even had that strong a start to the season. It felt like from the off, it's been Liverpool, Arsenal. Like from the off, and then City.
I thought they started okay. I mean, obviously they played us the second game, didn't they? So they played us the second game. They beat us. Did they beat us? Or did we draw? I can't even remember now. I think it was a draw. It was a draw, wasn't it? Because we were down to 10 men, so it was. It was a draw.
It was 2-2. Oh, there was that weird Trossard red card, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to start the victim mentality. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Don't.
I can't bait you into some Arsenal unfairness.
Don't lead me down that path, please. Don't lead me down that road just so that everybody can just dig at me and go typical Arsenal fan. We don't need that. Don't need that in our lives. Not today. Not today. We got a card overturned. That's good enough for me today. So yeah. But yeah, do you think you've got enough to kind of usurp Newcastle in Champions League, or do you think that that's it now? You think you're going to be Europa League this year?
I think no, because every time Villa play after the Champions League, we just look dead because we always play the same starting 11. Like it's always Martinez, Matty Cash, Konsa, Pau Torres, Digne, McGinn, Boubacar Kamara, Morgan Rogers.
McGinn's injured as well, isn't he?
Who?
McGinn.
He's what, sorry?
He's injured, isn't he?
He came back the weekend.
Oh, did he?
It made a bit of a cameo appearance to come back. But
right, okay. So it was just a warm-up, basically.
And on top of that, Tyrone Mings has just knackered his knee again, who just come back. So we had to play Luca Digne at centre-back, which was terrifying, if I'm being honest. Worse than when Dad left.
Yeah.
But
yeah, interesting.
Oh yeah, so it's no surprise that Emery's like desperate to buy a centre back. I mean, would I have gone for Axel Disasi of all people? Probably not. But you know, we started the window looking to go for like Mingueza, and we've got Disasi.
I think it's the age-old problem, though, isn't it? That the availability in the Premier League in the January transfer window, rather, is just crazy. It's just not worth.
Yeah, it is all just constant panic buying. Like no one wants to sell the best players, right? Yeah. So I think we turned down a £56 million bid for John Duran. 7,
yeah, for Duran, yeah.
I'd have took that in a heartbeat, but
would you?
Yeah.
I was speaking to a Villa fan, and he was basically saying, "Look, he needs to be at least 85 million, and this, that, and
85 million for John Duran, who's played 15, 16 games in the Prem."
The thing is, he's second fiddle as well, isn't he? He's not even.
Yeah, but the only reason I'd say keep him is purely because we've got no one to back up Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, but you can't have.
That's literally it. It's the only reason to keep him. Otherwise, I'd quite happily take the money. But
can you? And this isn't derogatory at all, but as in the like the PSR kind of battle and whatever, can you afford to have 60 million quid sat on your bench?
This year, yes, because we did a lot of dodgy deals with Chelsea over the summer.
I mean, everybody does dodgy deals with Chelsea anyway, don't they? So it's
and we don't forget we had to sell.
Yeah,
Diaby, Louise,
Everton had to sell, and then Chelsea had to kind of do the ring of roses, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think from a PSR perspective, it's the first time we've been fine for a while. But it's so frustrating that we know we've got X amount of money that the owners want to pump in and just kind of like sat in assets at the club that you can't spend. But then the kind of flip side to that is this has always baffled me a little bit. So since the January transfer market has been a thing, because I'm old enough to remember when it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like back in the day, if your squad was getting heavy throughout the winter, you bring in youth players. And it just seems like because of the existence of the January transfer window now, instead of looking at your youth team, you panic buying, well, for us, Disasi, you know.
I mean, that is a panic. That is
of course it is. He's literally just looked at the market and gone, right, what Premier League centre-backs have we got available? Oh, for fuck's sake. You know, and he's just gone for it.
I mean, for me, that is... well, it's a bit shocking, to be honest. I would have thought that you know, gone abroad and got somebody that's 30 million euros or something like that. That's
he's trying to get Juan Foyth now, isn't he?
Yeah, I saw that with Foyth as well. But
I don't know if that's better or worse. At least I think Disasi's on a loan, isn't he?
Disasi's definitely on a loan because you want Felix as well, don't you?
Yeah, God, that would be a good signing.
But you need money for that. So that would kind of ring in to do the Duran deal so that you could get Felix, wouldn't it?
You'd think so. You'd imagine that Felix is worth more than Duran. Like from an income to an expenditure perspective, we're probably in the black. just based on some
but
deals and
personally,
stuff.
though, I would say that that Duran's going to bring you more than Felix is going to cost you. Purely because Chelsea obviously will need to balance the books at some point. And
well, Chelsea are just amortising every little bit of money they've got in something like 12-year contracts, aren't they?
well, you can't do that anymore. It's a 5-year deal. You can only do it across a 5-year deal now. So even if you have a 9-year contract, it's amortized over 5 years. So it doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah,
they've changed that. But yeah, the selling of hotels to each other and stuff like that is
selling parking lots to each other and stuff.
Yeah, that's a bit of a no for me. But yeah, I agree that if you've got money, you should be allowed to spend it to a point, or you should. I've watched Terry Fleurs and he basically says, you know, you put in a holding account, and that money doesn't go anywhere, and it's basically there to fund the duration of said transfer, you know. So I don't really see anything wrong with that, but them's not the rules, is it? You know, at the end of the day, and they're trying a new structure, aren't they, next year, where it's a multiple of the lowest income from the.
Oh yeah, from the lowest earning team in the league or something.
I think that's going to be a car crash, to be honest. But
yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. and you know, the likes of Arsenal and whatever are going to get criticised even more for it, which, you know.
But the teams that have got the, so I mean, that's just pure buying power to start off each.
Yeah.
To start off each season or each period or whatever it is. So the teams like Man City and Chelsea, who have got 50 players in their under 21s, are just gonna gradually sell them off and just keep, you know.
Well, this is the thing, and I think that's why teams are buying players now that they don't necessarily need to afford, because when they get to that accounting period, it's just going to be a different way calculating anyway.
Just so they can say they've got some asset value.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So they've got some stock, and they can literally just sell them, and they've got income galore.
I mean, when you look at Duran from that perspective, is spending going to be restricted to the point at this point next year where we probably wouldn't get as much for him? Because honestly, 60 mil, I'd quite happily let him go. He's clearly, like, I know a lot of Villa fans want to keep him because he's technically a naturally really gifted player, and he is. You can just see it in him. He's just one of those players that just has that eye for goal. But he's also clearly got some kind of, I want to say attitude problem, but
I don't think he's got an attitude problem. I think he's a bit of an ego.
Yeah, but to the point where it's so extreme, it reminds me a little bit of Balotelli. Not quite as good, but you know, attitude-wise, he reminds me of Balotelli a little bit.
You look at like the players of like an Henry, like Cantona, like players like that had egos and stuff like that. They were quality players.
Yeah, but there's
an ego helps.
Difference between having a bit of a playful ego or a willing determination to want to be better than anyone else than just saying I'm a good player. Doesn't matter what I do, I'm always going to be good, and just don't work at it. And what worries me about Duran is that he has that mentality lurking in there. But I think a manager like Emery and having professionals like a Tyrone Mings or a John McGinn around him would probably, you know, make him a little bit better. But then you worry if you went to a club like Chelsea, maybe not the Chelsea of these days, but if you went to like a Man United where the dressing room is clearly an absolute shambles, I think that's when that kind of mentality will come out of him. So I think he needs a serious amount of work to just keeping him in check and keeping him on the right track, because it just feels like he could explode at any moment and just go off the rails at one point or another.
Well, there are rumours that Arsenal were looking at him. Do you think that would work or not?
Yeah, he's the right kind of profile for Arsenal.
You reckon Arteta would be able to handle him? Because there's all sorts doing the rounds that basically says that Arteta can't handle egos, and maybe if he's troubled, then he doesn't want to know. Or do you think he's the right profile characteristically like that?
I think there's a reason that no team has actually gone in for Duran apart from West Ham. You know what I mean? A player that clearly has that caliber and skill. I think there's a reason why West Ham are the only team that have made a bid. Is all I'm saying.
To be honest with me, I think with you, I think that's a bit laughable that West Ham have gone in for a Villa player. Because
Villa player that's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, but I think it's a massive step down for him.
Yeah, of course it is. But is he going to get the minutes over Watkins? I mean, granted, I like Ollie Watkins as a striker, but he needs 10 chances to take one. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. His work rate is incredible, and his brain's always in it. But I don't know why. Whenever he gets one-on-one, Ollie Watkins just looks scared. He's better when he doesn't have to think about a shot.
Yeah, except when he plays Arsenal, apparently. But yeah, he always seems to find the
back to your point. I do think Duran would be good at Arsenal. Yeah. If he's got the right players around him, and if Arteta could keep him, I think he's very much the right kind of profile for Arsenal. Classic number 9, will stay in the middle. Good at bringing players into play. Good at just turning, looking for space, getting a shot away, and letting more technical players just do the thing to get it.
Yeah, I just think I'd like him for the number 9, but I don't think I'd pay that much money for him. What they're touting for him, if he was something like 50 million, 60 million, I'd probably take the chance. But an 80 million,
80 million is too much of a stretch, isn't it?
I don't think I'd bother with it. I think I'd try and get a winger or whatever, and then go for the likes of Chesko or Gyökeres in the summer.
I think Sesko's is just earmarked for Bayern. Harry Kane's probably got a year left. Well,
Lewandowski's first as well, isn't he? He's on his way out as well, so they're probably going to need 2 strikers.
Yeah, I just in a world where the strikers market is comparatively smaller than it's been for a long, long time.
Yeah,
I know. Like, realistically, who could Arsenal bring in that fits their system?
I don't know whether they fit the system. I don't know if they fit the profile, but I'd still like them to go and get Osimhen. Osimhen's available for
Osimhen's a shout, yeah.
55 million euros or 55 million quid, whatever it is. Now, I don't know what's behind that. I don't know if he's, if he'd come and if he'd be happy with whatever, and whether the management would be happy with him. But as a fan, I think he fits the profile perfectly, to be honest. But
again, right kind of player, I think. Proper number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that Havertz needs a rest. He's played far too much.
He's not a striker, let's be honest.
He's not a striker. He's a centre forward, and he's
He's a defensive centre forward as well. Again, that's.
But the thing is, if you played with an Osimhen, because he wouldn't be a replacement for Havertz as such, it would be a rotational position, and he does so much work for the team. He really does. He plays 3 positions anyway. Really, he plays in the middle, he plays on the right, and he plays at the striker. So,
see, I love these kinds of players. The kinds of players that aren't highlights. They look like donkeys. They don't look very good. Yeah. But the fans who watch them every week and understand the work rate of these kinds of players absolutely love them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably in the minority. I don't know, not from a match going point of view, but certainly from Twitter point of view, if you like. But yeah, I just see that he gets through so much work and he gets so much crap for it, and yeah. It's just a workhorse. He can be everywhere, and people basically go, "Oh, he's missed that shot. He's missed that shot." That's not his job.
He does miss a lot of dodgy shots, though. You gotta be honest.
Oh, he absolutely. and I would first admit I scream at him when he misses the the simplest of headers, as I thought it was in the first 10 minutes against Wolves. I thought it was drastic, but everybody misses them, But
what is it with I don't know what it is about Arsenal coming to the Midlands. I don't know. The summer always seems to happen.
it's always a bit of a travesty. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's going there or them coming to us. Yeah, but yeah. Well, let's go on to the Wolves Arsenal game. Actually, I don't know if you watched the game, but yeah, it used to be. It was pretty plain sailing for the first 15, 20 minutes. It's kind of, should really been two or three goals up. I thought it was everything was in the ascendancy, and then yeah, kind of all hell breaks loose on a
bit of a break. Straight onto the red card.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Get it done with.
Let's go with that.
I didn't think it was a red card, but weirdly, I can see why the referee's giving it. Like at the time, live play, I just thought it was. I mean, I've played like fullback before, and you do just clip people when it looks like there's going to be a break. You don't even take the risk. You just take the yellow card, and you just have a fairly reserved game, which is what it looked like at full speed.
Yeah,
and then. Because we live in a day and age where we slow everything down.
Scrutinize everything.
I will. He's done that motion where the foot was lifted up, and it looks like he's almost stamped into him. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think there was anything malicious in it. I think he was just reaching out. I think he was just reaching out to stop his man. But sadly, I can see why the ref's done it.
I can as well, to the point. I mean, I had the conversation with.
I mean, it's a stretch. Let's be honest; it is a stretch to give it as a red. But I can see.
I think it's an absolute stretch to give it as a red. I can see why it might be given as a red.
You can see the excuse that they could have hid behind.
I can see the excuse, right? But even where the studs come down on the top of the ankle, I just think that's the arch of his leg. What's it? He can't do anything with his leg. He's just reaching his leg out, and that's where it goes down. But
it's football. Sometimes you have to take your foot off the ground.
Yeah, we've all done that.
It's clearly not gone in with any malice.
There's no malice. There's no
aggression. He's purposely gone in for a soft yellow card to take one for the team. He's been sent off.
He's basically tried to put his leg there so he goes over his leg. That's literally all he's tried to do. And all right, he's on the stretch. You can see the other foot is kind of raised, so he's not got all his weight on it, but he has got all his weight on it, if that kind of makes sense, because he's kind of.
I know what you mean. He's leaning into it, kind of. But again, it's not stamping action.
It's not stamping, but he's got more force on it than he wanted on it, purely because of what his other foot's done. So I can kind of see it from that point.
But we see those, honestly, the amount of those tackles that we see every week where nothing happens. Yeah. And then.
I think from the point of view of you could give that a red card, I think it's fine. But when you get to the Gomez challenge on Timber, that he does the 2-footed on Timber's ankle onto his thigh, or not his thigh, onto his upper ankle. And the excuse that we got was because it's above the ankle and whatever. And he stood straight into his ankle. The fact that that's a yellow card for me means that other challenge that you give a red card for can't be a red card.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows consistency is the main problem.
Yeah. So if you've given a red card for that, a straight red, if you've given a straight red for that, and you give a straight red for that one, I don't think the arguments for the furore doesn't happen the way it happened. But because you've then gone, yellow card for him, and that's a worse challenge. For me, that was a worse challenge because
I thought so as well, yeah.
There's weight on it. And I got told that he wasn't, because he's in a certain mannerism that he did. It's suddenly a lighter challenge, and you're like,
but that brings me back to the Duran incident a few weeks ago. He's in a certain motion, he's falling over, he studs.
You're talking about the one against Newcastle?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really understand that because the guy, I thought when he was holding his thigh that he actually caught the other thigh.
No, it went straight over his back, didn't it?
Yeah, he went up his back, and then he come down, and then he basically put his foot again, like on his thigh.
Yeah. Oh, so
And when he was laid on the ground, he was holding the thigh, but I think he was holding the other thigh, not the one that he actually got the fist with.
oh,
So that's what I saw anyway, but I might be completely wrong. But that's what I saw, and the ref overturned it. I can't remember. Was it Taylor that did that?
I can't remember. They all just blend into one useless.
This is what I see now. You know, when people basically go, "Oh yeah, it's such and such referee," it's such and such. I just go, I don't care anymore. They're all bad.
They're all bad. Yeah.
Apart from when Oliver. Anyway, but we're not going to go down that road. But yeah, I didn't think it was a red card. I thought it was an accidental. I thought it was an accidental stamp on his back.
I thought the worst thing was about that was in real time. I was like, oh, has he been a bit stupid there? And I was like, I could see why the ref's blown up for it. But then VAR looked at it, and then when it slowed down, you can see Duran slip from his ankle go from underneath him on the left. And it obviously that naturally just kind of brings your body across you, and it looks as if he's tried to he's going in an unnatural direction. It looks as if he's tried to move his foot to not. I think was it Fabian Schär?
I think it was Schär. Was it Schär?
Was it Schär? Botman. It might have been Botman.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Don't remember.
One of them. But it looks like he's tried to move his foot as if to take it out of the way, and it's gone in on it. But I mean, the point is, I thought it looked worse in real time.
It didn't help him by any stretch of imagination. I can tell you that, and I hate that about football now.
Oh, it's annoying, isn't it?
Where a player, a fellow professional, wants to do a fellow professional because it benefits their game rather than being sportsmen. Everyone's trying to win at all costs. It kind of. But that's where we are, isn't it? I mean, that's obviously the business end of things now, from a club's perspective. But the professionals shouldn't be doing that, in my opinion.
No,
it's it kind of upsets the whole thing, to be honest. But there we are. That's kind of what we get, I suppose. But
it's just a day and age, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't really do it.
Started with Kearley, he used Saka back, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, going back to the game and such, it was. I thought before the sending off we were completely in control. I think we tried to get ahead of steam, but we weren't really breaking anything down as such. It was everything was kind of in front of Wolves, really. We put a couple of moves in. The corners from Trossard weren't exactly what we're used to. Let's say we're used to pinpoint accuracy, and they were going all over the place. So
I have a question about Arsenal set pieces. Actually,
go on then.
Do we think this is down to your legendary set-piece coach who rocks out and starts waving his arms about? Or do we think it's down to the fact that you've just got two of the biggest units of centre-backs looking to get on the end of it?
Can we just acknowledge, right, we're not the only ones that have a set-piece coach.
Oh, yeah. He comes out and starts waving about like a madman.
Yeah. So before we start with this hypocrisy, right, let's call a spade, and admit we've both got one.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, there's a few around now. I mean, there's the Newcastle one as well.
I love it. This is the time to shine.
Yeah,
years ago, if someone had gone to I don't know, Jose Mourinho, I'm a set piece coach, and he just looked at him.
Yeah, do one, mate.
Box head goal.
Get off my land. You're not coming on the pitch again. You get up the stand there. In the limelight for me, but everybody's up for it now, aren't they? They're just like, yeah.
I'd love to know how much is actually on the set piece coach. Like, have we got? Like, if you look at, I don't know if we have got these. Have we got stats from like 6-7 years ago? Where like have set piece goals increased or decreased? No one knows.
I think they've probably increased as far as the Premier League's gone. I think there's probably more of a thing when you had the likes of Ronaldo and.
I'm thinking more Rory Delap launching the ball into the box, because technically that's a set piece, isn't it?
We had a conversation last week actually. And it was like, can you imagine if Arsenal had Aina, the right back from Forest, who basically his throws are ridiculous, right? He just looping he sends them up in the air, he sends them like Delap did, and he does one that actually curls. It's a throw that curls in the air. It's absolutely ridiculous, and that's probably what obviously is contributing to Forest's to goals, but.
No set piece coach there. Just yeet the ball into the box and hope for the best, guys.
Yeah, he's just like, give it to him, let him throw it. Right, at no cost, let it go out for a corner.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you do, it's a throw, right? Don't let it go out for a corner. We want to throw.
Honestly,
absolute madness. But I mean, a lot of it's down to the coach. I think the rules help, because there are really no rules, are they? And United kind of copied it the other day as well. Though they actually got called up for a push, which was never a push, by the way. But yeah, it's called back.
No, that's gone in the other direction as well. We've gone from last year, everyone being pulled for a slight nudge in the box off a corner, to this year they're letting everything go.
Just everything, yeah. The best one now is that the ref actually gets involved in the corner.
What?
No, he's not actually doing anything. He's basically just
Oliver is one Arsenal game away from actually rising to meet a header in the box.
He just says, everybody goes, it takes so long for you to take a corner. And you're like, well, yeah, you're trying to stop the run of an Arsenal player, for example. The ref's seen the bloody interaction. He wants a piece of it, and is like, yeah, don't do that. Although he always talks to the wrong player for some reason. But
yeah, he never gets the right player.
You're just like, mate, either go like that with a card, or keep yourself out of there.
Yeah,
do one or the other, right? But don't.
You're not a therapist. You're not going to resolve these issues into the players. So get your cards out and go away.
It's not that. You're basically giving cards out for delaying the game.
Yeah.
And that's literally what you're doing.
God bless Emi Martinez whilst we're here.
Yeah, God. That guy, man. I could literally, he makes me physically want to run on the pitch and just go, shall I show you how to kick the ball?
He's so good, though. He's so good, though.
He's such a prat.
I still can't believe you guys got rid of him and then went through 4 keepers.
The thing is with that, though, he had his chances. He was with us for like 10 years. And he had his chances. He had his loan spells. And I think he did like 10 months of being decent. And then I think they just got sick of it. I think they obviously, he has that bravado in the dressing room, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're probably just gone, well, we don't need that anymore. But there we go. Yeah, I can see you typing, so I assume you.
Yeah, I still think he's brilliant.
Yeah. So I think it's decent, but and he's obviously a lot of the reason that you are where you are. But there we go. But in the end, I thought Arsenal deserved the win, but I don't feel that without the red card, I don't think that we'd have got the points, to be fair.
No, I think you'd have been all right. I don't. It comes down to the fact that Wolves don't really have that attacking threat.
Yeah, we were lucky it was Wolves, to be fair, that happened against. Because I
see
if Wolves of 2 years ago, then we'd have been struggling.
Agreed, yeah. If it was someone like a Bournemouth,
yeah,
who do have that kind of snap behind them and they can get in behind and play good football, then I think it'd have been. But yeah, you're right. You are absolutely lucky it was Wolves.
Yeah,
nullify Cunha, you're fine.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to whip through these other games. Then we got Palace 1 and Brentford 2. Nothing really surprising in that for me. I thought Brentford would win that, and Palace are struggling, aren't they? Really.
Well, I don't know.
And the surprise of the weekend for me is, I mean, I was surprised with the you drew to West Ham, to be fair, but
oh god, yeah, it was so. I've never seen a game go swing one way to the other so quickly. Like Villa in complete control, creating chances, and then the glass that Tyrone Mings' knees made out of decides to crack, and we have to put Digne at centre back, and it's just complete. We were really lucky to come out of that with a point in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of luck involved, but I mean, you're a decent side at the end of the day. But yeah, it's obviously a struggle, isn't it, when you've got to facilitate like that kind of way. And then the laugh of the weekend has to go to Spurs losing to Leicester.
Ange's got to be on borrowed time, isn't he?
I mean, I want him to stay forever. I don't know about you, but
I genuinely don't think Ange's the problem at Spurs.
He can't be, can he? He can't be. It's just constant, isn't it? But it's not as if they don't spend as well, is it? They do spend money. They spent 125 million on strikers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Levy Blue's shot at making Spurs a genuinely brilliant team. When they got money for Modric, then Bale.
Yeah.
And they made that absolute flurry of really expensive transfers, and none of them panned out.
None of them worked.
Who was it? It was Lamella who cost them an absolute bomb. Who was the centre back?
$60 million, wasn't it, to Lamella?
But yeah, they just absolutely blew that money, didn't they?
And Dombele or whatever it was.
And Dombele. There was a centre back, and I can't remember.
There was a centre back. I can't remember who he was now, but yeah,
that's how good he was. A really expensive centre back. No one's got a clue who it was.
The problem is that they get so many awful signings that they all kind of roll into one. Yeah, Richard basically puts in here that Soldado was one. Yeah.
Oh God, yes, Soldado.
I heard a Spurs fan saying that they take Soldado back. That's how
he only ever scored penalties for him, didn't he?
I thought. I mean, it took him like 10 weeks to score a goal. I thought, and then it was a penalty, I believe. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I think he only scored like 5 goals in a season, something like that, and then they got rid of him. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, so Spurs are in a relegation fight, aren't they? Really?
I think Spurs are actually lucky that there's worse teams in the league.
Yeah.
If they're at this point, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when like 6 or 7 teams really got sucked into that relegation battle.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
I think they'd actually be in trouble. I throw Man United in there as well. They're so inconsistent. I think they could very easily have got sucked into it, but Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester.
Yeah, they're struggling, aren't they? And obviously can put Wolves in there as well, because they're struggling big time, I think, at the minute. And I think Palace and West Ham will be in the same position. They're quite lucky as well that they're our worst teams. I mean, obviously, West Ham getting rid of Lopetegui was not a day too soon, and Amorim will get his message across. He just needs to stick with it. I think he needs to get some players in, doesn't he?
Yeah, his case is just he wants to play a certain way, and he hasn't got the players to do it. So
no, I don't think I think there is a mixture at that club. I mean, they won 1-0 against Fulham. Martinez could have got sent off as well, by the way, with his double-footed lunge that he did against Palace.
He gets away with a lot.
I don't know how he does it.
Because he's a little midget.
But that's sending off. Off for me. And I don't dispute that they won the game on merit or whatever, but that was a shocking the challenge. And I think he did an over the ball one as well, where he basically stood straight into the shin.
Yeah, he's a proper nasty little player.
Did you see his celebration?
I don't know.
He kind of walks into goal and he's going like this. in front of goal, and then somebody, I think it was Ahmad, kind of running with him and doing the same thing, and I'm like, that has got to be single-handedly the worst celebration I've ever seen.
Oh, who was it that got booked for celebrating? Was it Ndiaye? Someone got booked for doing it. It was against Brighton because they started going around in the little seagulls.
Oh yeah. He did a seagull impression, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got booked for it. That's just stupid, isn't it? I mean, come on.
I don't think that he thought it was a seagull.
Why? What do you think it was?
I think he thought it was an aeroplane. You know, they do the bomber, the planes going down celebrations. I reckon he thought it was that.
Yeah, but, okay. So say the refs walked over to him and gone, "Look, mate, I need you to report and distinguish what you were doing in that cell anyway." I mean, you know, aside from you shouldn't really book for doing a celebration, you know, sig hails and weird stuff like that aside, obviously. But you know, I just think, it reminds me when Neymar got booked for doing a rainbow flick. Why?
Or Aubameyang got booked for doing he put the Black Panther helmet.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, but it's okay to blow up a balloon and just stick it out your mouth, and that's perfectly fine. But you can't.
Yeah.
Where's the line? You know.
I don't know.
But yeah, Richard said need the players out before you bring them in. Got Glazers there who are more interested in financial gain than understanding what Man United are about. I think they're trying to balance the books, mate. I really do. I think that they're trying to bring it out of debt. And I think that's what they're more interested in right now. And I think you're going to have a rocky road. I think it's going to be very similar to what Arsenal have gone through. And maybe even worse. But I hear that. What I think that's I think they're going to try and get you out of debt before they do anything.
I think Man United fans don't understand the backwards journey that Man United are on. So when you're not consistently playing in Europe, when, let's be honest, a lot of United fans aren't from Manchester. The glory hunters of old looking for something like, they're like fans in Japan, China, Saudi Arabia or whatever. And I think they're probably losing quite a lot of money on fans that are going somewhere else. They've got a stadium in need of renovation that's got to be accounted for.
Yeah.
And, just the stupid amount of money that they've spent on players for a start and managers. So,
well, the wages, just their wage bill is just insane, isn't it? I mean, 375 grand for Rashford, and you don't even want to play him.
I know, yeah. I don't.
It's much of that. So, I think at the end of the day, like you say, they really have big issues. And
I mean, I don't think the huge issues yet, but I think they can't be far away from it.
I don't know. I think they are.
You reckon? You think they're already in deep trouble?
I think that the fact that they're in debt, and I think that Ineos want to use the club in its stature to get it out of debt before they put any more money in. So and only the club are going to do that because the Glazers ain't. They're not going to do anything, are they? So there we go. Anyway, I know you've got to go. So we're going to wrap up pretty quickly anyway. But we were supposed to look into the Champions League as well, but we've run out of time. But if you have been here, then please make sure you're hitting like buttons. You're subscribing to the channel, and you're sharing the live out as well. And hit that bell notification as well, and you'll see we're going to live again. We're going to try and get another show in for Thursday. We'll probably do a review of the Champions League games and a look into the weekend fixtures. So I hope you're around for that. But Horatio, thank you very much for tonight. Appreciate it.
Much fun. Good chat.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'm trying to have a level-headed chat without going down rabbit holes, so that's all good.
Let's bite you a little bit. You didn't bite. Well done.
Maybe next time. It doesn't always happen anyway. But yeah. I've been Sparks as well. So thank you very much for watching. We'll put some clips out as well. And yeah, again, make sure you're subscribing, liking the channel, and we'll see you next time. Good night.